Roof Max of Hickory. Affordable roof rejuvenation. Visit MakeMyRoofLast.com.
Good evening. This is the WHKY News for Thursday, October 3. I'm Ralph Mangum. The WHKY News is on over-the-air TV every weekday on channel 14.2, and you can find us online at WHKY.com and on YouTube. In today's top stories, WHKY's Arianna Mack had the chance this morning to chat with former FEMA Administrator Brock Long.
Joining us on WHKY, Brock Long, former Federal Emergency Management Agency Administrator. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
Of course. From your perspective of previous storms, maybe Hugo, what is happening post-Helene?
So Hugo attacked us in a completely different way. It was mostly high winds. Yes, there was water associated and some flooding in areas, but high winds was the major issue, which caused a lot of vegetative debris and power down. This is largely a water event. Obviously copious amounts of rain, the orographic effects of mountains increases rainfall with these systems as they're passing through, just overwhelming and inundating drainage systems and different things, exacerbating flooding. And, it's going to be a complex disaster and a long recovery. And so, right now, emergency management is a team sport. There are multiple players involved, from neighbor helping neighbor, the local emergency management agency requesting support from the state, and the state requesting support from FEMA. All of it is designed to work together to right now alleviate pain and suffering, life safety search and rescue, and then life-sustaining missions. So how do you help people where they are, or how do you get them into a safe, sanitary, functional place to render services to them there. And then eventually what you're going to see is a longer-term shift to initial recovery and then long-term community recovery with a whole host of grants coming our way.
Of course. And what are some qualifications for FEMA to provide disaster relief?
There are thresholds. Obviously, all of the disaster declarations, processes have been turned on. There's really two types of assistance. There's individual assistance that will be rendered to people who have been directly impacted by the event. And then there's public assistance, which is assistance designed to alleviate infrastructure damages and help with the repair and recovery of those.
And in your experience, how can FEMA help those devastated?
Well, a couple ways. One, the most important thing is neighbor helping neighbor. So even before FEMA is here and providing, largely recovery grants, to help kickstart recovery in communities, but also in households that have been directly impacted. The other thing you have to realize is that neighbor helping neighbor is the most important piece, and it's important to donate and volunteer your time, but make sure you're plugged into a specific mission, because what you don't want to do is just start collecting supplies without having a clear mission to execute or need that's been identified to help them overcome. You don't want to just self-deploy into these areas and dump stuff off, because you're actually adding to the problem of the lack of the ability to manage donations.
Thank you so much for your time and joining us on WHKY. I'm Arianna Mack for WHKY.
Thank you, Arianna, and thanks so much to Brock Long for his time today. The Caldwell County manager joined WHKY's Rob Eastwood for an update on conditions in Caldwell following Helene.
And we are joined today by Donald Duncan, the Caldwell County manager, checking on how things are going in the aftermath of Helene up in Caldwell County. Thank you so much for coming in. First of all, it's good to have you.
We're glad to be here, Rob. It's been a trying time. We've been a lot of hours in it, but we're getting there. We're moving forward.
You're staying busy because when you came into the station, your phone was going off, your watch was going off, so a lot of folks are still staying in touch. Tell us now, how are things in Caldwell County? I know Collettsville in particular, Wilson Creek area was really hit hard.
Yeah, the whole county was hit hard, particularly the northern and western sections, anything going north of Lenore toward Blowing Rock, the Happy Valley area, but Caldwell, Wilson Creek, Collettsville area, all the way up into Morton, Regimont and the Globe was just completely devastated. It does, when you hear people say a bomb went off, that's what it looks like. We had several small tornadoes that spun up. I actually survived a tornado myself on the roof of a building. So we got to experience quite a bit of that. And the pressure that we've been under as a team has been tremendous, because a lot of professionals that have a tremendous amount of experience in emergency management. This is still the biggest event we've all ever seen collectively. So it's been fun. We've done a lot of 20-hour days, a lot of lost sleep. You go home and you got to deal with a yard full of debris, and then you go back to work and you're dealing with all these other folks and trying to help them with their problems. So
making progress at this point,
we're making great progress. We're moving forward. I want to stress safety to everybody. We're starting to see more and more issues, people burning brush. We've had people already caught on fire. We've had to treat burn victims. We've had people injured by chainsaw. You know, it's not worth it. You know, stay safe, be prepared. Main thing is wear proper protective equipment, and you know, don't overwork yourself. Don't stress. Get the debris out, and we'll take care of it. We'll get it up.
And how are the roads? Is that coming along as well? Getting more roads open?
More roads every day. We still have about 25 streets in Lenoir that are closed. Most everything in Granite, Sawmills, and Hudson is ready to go. There's a few key places that are just have a lot of pole damage that has to be removed before they can get the roads open. The other thing that you're going to see now too is that line crews and DOT crews are working. So you'll see a road that was open yesterday is closed today. Not that something's wrong, but they're in there doing repair work.
How can people help the folks of Caldwell County?
So we are taking donations. Caldwell County is setting up the Western distribution center for the whole western part of the state. That will be up and running this afternoon as we speak. We have National Guard members coming in. We've worked with a wonderful local partner here in Hickory Springs. They had a warehouse for lease. They've leased it to us at a below market rate and waived a lot of the fees so we could get into it. The county commissioners approved that contract last night in an emergency meeting. So today we'll be opening a 90,000 square foot warehouse. Right now, if you have donations, take them to any donation drop-off point. Also, I'll remind everybody, use reputable 501c3 companies. Use your United Way, your Rotary Club, your Ruritan clubs.
And last thing, we'll close on, is there a website, Facebook page that folks can go for information about Caldwell County?
We would ask you to go to our Caldwell County webpage. We have a link just for disaster relief, and it has all the information on it that any citizen is going to know. And this information is not only good for Caldwell County, but also good for the surrounding counties.
Okay, Donald Duncan, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
You,
it's good to meet you and good to have you in the studio. Donald Duncan, the Caldwell County manager, updating us on conditions in Caldwell County, and we appreciate him joining us here on WHKY News.
Thank you, Rob, and we are grateful to Mr. Duncan for coming in today as well. The Boone Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating a missing person. She is 15-year-old Annabella Bella Wentworth. Ms. Wentworth is a white female. She is 4 feet 11 inches tall, weighing approximately 110 pounds. She has brown eyes and brown shoulder-length hair with bangs. She was last seen wearing a white crop top, sleeveless shirt, khaki pants, and white sneakers. Anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Annabella Bella Wentworth should call Watauga County Communications at 828-264-3761 and press option 2. All 4 Catawba County parks have reopened and will operate on their regular schedule, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily through the end of October. Parks will close at 5 p.m. starting November 1st. Due to the impact of the storm, some park amenities remain closed. Storm cleanup is continuing at Baker's Mountain, where some trails are still closed. Access to the mountaintop is open. Trails at Mountain Creek Park, with the exception of the paved Stormy Normie Trail, remain closed due to wet conditions. The pickleball courts are closed for repairs through Sunday, October 6th. All other amenities, including the playground and nature center, are open. At Riverbend Park, the lower parking area and some trails are closed due to storm damage. All amenities at St. Stephen's Park, including the dog park and nature trail, are open. Rob rejoins us now with more park-related news, as all North Carolina state parks west of I-77 are closed through at least October 31st. Here's Rob.
Most programs at all state parks in North Carolina have been canceled through the end of this month. The North Carolina Division of Parks and Recreation is assisting with emergency and rescue operations in western North Carolina in the aftermath of Helene. As a result of this, state parks officials are scaling back operations across the state to allow staff to continue to assist with critical deployments. The state parks to be closed are Chimney Rock, Crowder's Mountain, Elk Knob, Gorges, Grandfather Mountain, Lake James, Lake Norman, Mount Mitchell, New River, and South Mountain State Park, along with Stone Mountain State Park, Rendezvous Mountain, and Mount Jefferson State Natural Area. All reservations impacted by the park closures are receiving a full refund automatically. This includes cabins, campsites, picnic shelters, and community buildings. State parks officials appreciate your understanding as they help their neighbors and communities who are grieving and who have lost so much due to the storm. And once again, most events and programs at all state parks in North Carolina have been canceled through the end of October. You can get much more on this by going to this story at our website, WHKY.com. Reporting from Burke County, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY News.
Thanks, Rob. We do have a crime report today, which includes information on a Hickory man who was sentenced on federal firearms charges, in local sports, high school football results, and more. In Community Focus, we'll have a storm recovery update from Burke, plus the latest from the Green Room. Around 80 and partly cloudy today with only a small chance of rain. Upper 70s and cloudy tomorrow with a 15% chance of a shower. Mostly sunny with highs around 80 over the weekend and into Monday. A good bit cooler, starting with lows in the 40s starting Tuesday night. Those chillier temps will stay with us throughout all of next week. Look for the latest forecast at WHKY.com anytime. I'm Ralph Mangum. You are watching the WHKY News.